All right, everybody, welcome back to the Elevated Podcast. Today I am joined with E, the Big Apple E, and I'm also joined with Elliot. Also got my co-host Marcos. I'm Tyler, as you know. Today we're gonna cover some mental health topics.
Think about homeboy in the back.
My homeboy in the back. What's your name, bro?
JR.
JR. All right, we got him in the back. You guys can't see him, but if you got something to say, don't be afraid to just say something.
Got you.
Again, we're gonna be covering some mental health topics. So I'm gonna start with you. How do you feel about mental health? What is your opinion about it? Do you think a lot of people struggle with it? You think it's underrated? What's going on?
Yeah,
And bring the mic closer.
I feel like where we come from, a lot of people don't pay close attention to it. You know, like a lot of the things that we deal with, the things that we see growing up, it's kind of just like it's just normal. You know, I feel like we desensitized. Like I could definitely say in my experience that I was desensitized to a lot of things. And when I sat back, like kind of like it all started when I moved out of my mom's house, right? That's when I started paying close attention to things. Like when I would go back to my mother's house, when would go back to my neighborhood where I was raised, I would see how it makes me feel. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I started paying more close attention to like I would
Yeah.
watch podcasts, read, just like read a lot of like quotes on Instagram, stuff like that, and I start realizing like I'm a little fucked up. Like I'm a little
I
messed
feel
up.
you
You
on
feel
that
me?
one. Yeah.
And it's like I just started
You're not where you want to be.
yeah, exactly. And it's not even like it's a lot of us. It's like we kind of just like born into these circumstances, like, and we can't blame our family or nothing like that because it's like they dealing with the same thing, and they desensitized to it. They think it's normal. They think it's okay, like the way we speak to each other, the way we treat each other, stuff like that. And it's just like I just started putting in a little bit of work with it, and I feel better about a lot of things. I started to understand a lot of things. I started to forgive a lot of people in my life. And it's like that stuff that I'm starting to preach to like my brothers. I'm trying to like get them to read, like dig deep and figure out why they do certain things that they do.
Mm.
Why they feel
Yeah,
certain
root
ways
cause.
about certain things, certain people, whatever the case may be. It's just like
We're not really taught on how to like deal with the trauma that and it's like half the time we don't even know that it's trauma. That's just everyday life.
exactly.
That's just how you're supposed to talk to
Exactly.
your brother. That's how you're supposed to talk to your cousin. You don't
Yeah,
even realize the
yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Until you can compare it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Until
Yeah.
you're around,
Until
say
you
you're
see it for
another
yourself.
friend's family, and you see, yo,
Exactly.
they're kind to each other.
Yeah.
They don't beat each other up, on a malicious level. But siblings are gonna have rivalry. That's normal in that sense.
Yeah, of
But
course.
there does come a line where you're like, well, wait a minute, why is it that we talk like this, but I see them, they don't do that. They're actually more caring to each other. They actually call each other every day. Yeah, my brother's my best friend, and like this, and that. In most Spanish households, I would say that's not the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the youngest of seven, so I have older siblings above me, and you're right. The way we talk to each other is like you don't realize it then, but now you look back like I should have been a little bit nicer. I
Yeah,
should have
you
not
guys-
said that.
They're pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, like
We
even
are.
like how we raised like by our parents. Like I remember I remember one time I had asked my daughter like she did something that I didn't like, and I was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I don't want to raise my daughter thinking that there's something wrong with her.
Mm.
It's like little things like that we say to our kids or our family members like, "What's wrong with you?" Like you got something wrong with you. It's like it kind of makes you feel like you fucked up. You know. So
Yeah.
it's just like little things like that.
But I will say though, but even like mentioning that to some families, some of them are fucked up. Some of them do have traumas that are caused and that kind of put them in that behavior. And they just either will make two choices: deal with it, address it, fix it, and get better, or not, and just kind of go down the other path and turn into this other being that you're like, who the hell are you and where'd you come from and why are you like that?
Yeah.
And I feel like everything comes from trauma. It's experiences in life that make you the way you are as you get older.
Exactly.
Childhood in my household was pretty rough. Some of my family members bounced back from it. It has damaged all of us. We all admit this at one point or another in our lives. And we've all dealt with it different ways. Some of us are stuck, some of us are not. Some of us have serious phobias of certain ways of dealing with certain things because it doesn't want to remind us of our dad or our mom or situations, whatever it may be. So I think that kind of helps shape things up. So a lot of times it's just them not wanting to address the trauma because they don't want to go back to that day or like remember that vividly. But yet they don't realize that one trauma is affecting their entire life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when you eliminate the source of where that's coming from, you get better, like you did to yourself. You
Yeah,
start
yeah,
learning
you
more
kind of
about
just gotta
yourself.
like, you kind of just gotta like forgive.
You gotta let
You
it
know,
go. You
like,
gotta let that energy go.
yeah,
Keeping negative energy inwards inside just eventually will eat you up
yeah. It's
inside
just
and
like
make you the
it's just
negative thing.
festering. It's just festering
Hmm.
inside you. You know, you gotta let it out. You gotta have some type of like outlet.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
like I've been trying to like write. I try to journal. You
So, yeah, I've
know.
been trying to paint.
Yeah,
Journal.
Swear,
exactly,
yeah.
The fact that you
exactly.
mentioned journals again, that's the second mention of
Yep.
that I've been
I
here.
think journaling
And
should be like people need to start journaling. One, I mean, if you're not into manifestation, so be it. But it definitely like
gets
I've
it
been
out.
journaling. It helps you know what your goals are, how you're gonna accomplish those goals,
Yeah.
and it's just it's like talking
Even
to
like
yourself.
so
You know?
exactly.
But
Like
also
for
expressing
me,
the
it's more
energy
so
and the
like
Yeah.
feeling.
yeah, it's just kind of like getting out what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. You
Mhm.
know, putting it somewhere else that it's not inside me only.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I could see it on the paper, now I could read it to myself, read it out loud. I'm like, all right, this is what I feel.
That's your check.
Yeah, and now I'm like, all right, what can I do about it?
Hmm.
You know, because when you're just thinking about it all day, you could tell yourself like, what can I do about it? But it's kind of different when you see it, when you can read it
Yeah.
to yourself.
Hmm.
When it's no longer
You
a
know,
thought.
exactly.
Like this makes it real.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
And if you don't have someone that you can trust 100% to tell your issues to, that are not going to judge you
Exactly.
based on what you said, the best next option is a journal. I kept a journal for many years when I was younger, and I had friends that I could talk to, but I never trusted them to know all these deep things
Yeah,
about my
like those
life.
intimate things that you dealing with.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can't go to anybody, and then a lot of people they not really gonna understand where you're coming from.
100%. What I was gonna say
Or they'll
is,
use it against you later when they're pissed at you.
Exactly.
besides dealing with trauma, I think something I struggled with a lot too was self identity. Just knowing who you are as a person, just figuring out why do I do the things I do? Why do I like the things I like? Why do I hang out with the people that I hang out with? Like
Exactly.
a lot of people are fucking lost.
Exactly.
They're doing like I did a lot. Like I smoked a lot of weed. I made a video about this, right? I smoked a lot of weed. Why? Because I really did it because I wanted to fit in with the group of people that I was around. Now, can some people smoke weed? I know you guys smoke or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people can, but for me, I was trying to fit into a certain group of people. Then it became my reality. It became who I was. And now I'm sacrificing a piece of myself to fit in with other people. I started doing it. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm just trying to fit in.
Well, that's why you were doing it.
Yeah. Well,
So,
either way, a lot of people don't know what I'm trying to get at is a lot of people don't know who they are and they don't know what they're here to do. And which leads to my question: do you guys believe that you have a purpose? And I want to start with you. What do you think? Do you think that there's a
Um,
purpose to our lives?
I think there is a purpose, honestly. I
Mm.
would say there's experiences for one. Just experiencing as much as you can as while you're here, while you're alive, because you just never know what's gonna happen.
Do you think you have a purpose?
Another one, yeah, my purpose, I would say, is to just share positivity, try to help people as much as I can, share the message that I can with my music, through my music.
Facts. I've been seeing it. You're doing your
Yeah.
thing.
Cause when I feel it, honestly, when I make music for myself, it just it makes me feel fulfilled, honestly.
Well, you're giving it are you giving it a piece of you? You're letting yourself be who you are.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
giving it to the
that's like
world.
another form of journaling, you know?
Facts,
Like you
yeah.
said, like you
And that's
paint, some people write, and then some people write and then put it into music.
yeah, exactly. That's why I make music.
It's an outlet.
It helps me.
Exactly. Why do you think so many people struggle with self identity?
they don't know
Social media,
what that is.
Distraction.
social media,
They
Facts.
get blinded by social
society.
media. They
ev-
think
Everybody's trying to,
social
like you
media.
said, people trying to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
People are judging themselves based off like what other people are doing. You know, like, oh, everybody else is doing this at my age. I should be doing this.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I'm 28 years old, and sometimes I do that to myself. I'm like, at this age, you should have this, this, and this, and then I'm like, who the fuck made these rules? Who said I'm supposed to
Exactly.
have all of this?
Yeah,
You know, who
I
said I'm
agree.
supposed to be here? You know, everybody has a different start. Some people start when they real young, and they like, all right, at this time I want to be doing this, and then a lot of them, the people that do start when they're younger, when they get my age, they realize they unhappy. You know, they went down the wrong route.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they was like, oh, I wanted to do this and this, and I missed out on all these years of my childhood. You know, my teenage years, trying to make my family happy, or something like that. You know, and then
Or be someone that they're not.
yeah, and then you got people like me. When I was a teenager, I was bullshitting. I was playing around. I was trying to be famous through the bikes or whatever the case may be. You know, And now I'm here and I'm like, damn, I wasted a lot of time. You know, but then I look at it like this, like, we could possibly live to 100 years old.
Yep.
I'm 28 years old, right? I still consider myself like a baby sometimes. I'm like, I don't know everything. I don't have everything figured out. A lot of people my age don't have everything figured out. And it might be a long time before I have everything figured out. I feel like we always gonna learn. Like, you could be on your deathbed and learn something that day.
Facts.
Facts.
You
You
know?
gotta learn from your experiences. You gotta learn from your trauma, things that you went through. Like even the shit with the bikes, right? I wasted a lot of time on bikes too because I gave that up. But I learned something from that. I learned how to apply discipline. I learned how to maneuver through the fucking bullshit that people were, were
Yeah.
pushing on you, like with the sponsors that had fucking shit to say.
And you taught yourself dedication because how long did it take you to master that wheelie?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Word.
Discipline.
Exactly,
Even
bro.
if a wheelie is that's not just a wheelie. That's your process of time that you spend doing that. You could kind of look
For
at how
all
your
three of
growth
us,
was.
that's like endless nights, days and nights of just sitting in a
Yeah.
fucking park, busting your
Especially
ass.
what
Like,
we was doing specifically.
yeah, exactly.
Right. Most
yeah.
kids won't bother wasting time doing that. What they're gonna do is
Yeah, exactly.
on their phone,
Oh, video
tweeting, reading
games.
Instagram,
Fortnite.
Yep.
Fortnite,
Like,
GTA
or whatever.
6.
we were some of the
Video
last
games
ones.
are not so horrible. Let's but
Nah, yeah,
I
they're
will
not.
say though, but the journey you all three took on dedicating your time to learning how to bike the way you guys did, that shows a dedication to some sort of art that you wanted to do.
And a community.
So that
Exactly.
means you had the
Exactly.
audacity to be individuals in sense, to learn how to do wheelies or whoever you were specializing in, to be something more than just a regular biker. Anybody can ride a bike.
Yeah.
Who can
Yeah.
ride a bike down on one
Right.
wheel for like 4 blocks?
Yeah, exactly.
Not many
Sometimes
people.
way more.
Exactly.
I'm saying, but that takes time and
And
effort.
that too,
Dedication.
100%,
that,
yeah.
that brings me back to, like, an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times that's what the bikes did for me.
Yeah, and I
You
think
know,
that's
like-
also what probably sparked all your mindsets to change,
Yeah.
to remove yourself from the group and become individuals. Because
Yeah.
you look at them, at anybody else and what they're doing, and your disdain for what they're doing. Like, I don't want to be like that. It forced you, kind of like, all right, it kickstarted your individuality to be like, you know what, I'm gonna be me for me. Forget you. Like, you know,
Yeah.
let's just do me. That's you starting your self identity in a way, like finding out who you are as a person. And it starts from that, from biking to questioning everything throughout your growing up,
Yeah.
going backwards and kind of really looking at everything in your life and started writing stuff down with your music too. Put you into music. That was probably something hard to start because you didn't know where to start from. So
Yeah, definitely.
your biking kind of gave you those little bit of rules that you got, like discipline and dedication, to kind of put that effort in.
Yeah,
And with your music, I would definitely recommend make sure it's honest music and it's something that people can relate to.
yeah,
That
definitely.
all the bullshit that's out there now, yeah, people like the glitz and the glamour of things, but
Yeah,
it's hard work behind it that they don't see. They just see the glitz and the glamour that's put out in front of the camera.
yeah.
Behind the scenes is what makes the difference in the world, because you could be the greatest rapper in the world and no one's listening.
Yeah.
Or people are going to question your skills about, are you an actual rapper or are you just reading someone else's lyrics?
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of where the authenticity comes into play.
Well, especially and to tie it to music too, with self identity, a lot of rappers try to follow the trend. They try to sound like this fucking rapper. They try to sound like that
Yeah.
rapper.
Exactly.
They try to say
Same
these
words,
things,
same
pursue
flows.
like drill music, do
Yup.
drill type of music, when in reality they might not even be like that, so to speak. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
In real life, they really not living
They're
the
playing
life
a
that
facade
perfect
because they don't know who
writing
they are.
about.
A perfect example of a rapper who was playing a facade was 6ix9ine.
Exactly.
I hate to bring him up.
No, yeah,
I know it's
exactly.
very taboo, but look at where he's a perfect example of not having a self identity, not having a knowing what you want to do,
Yeah.
pretending to play a role, and
Being
look where
around
it
the
got
wrong
him.
people.
It got
Mhm.
exactly. It got him robbed.
Yeah.
It got him turned on, and it also almost got him killed.
Yup.
And at his own hand. That's the best part. He
And he's
didn't
still fucking
didn't
around,
see it
too.
coming. He's still
Yeah.
no, but now he's being his true stupid self. He
Yeah.
can't blame anybody else for what's going on. Now this is all him. This is the him show, and he's still making money. People, the kids, his fans still like him because he was also different when he came out. But again, like he was playing that role, and then they realized, oh wait, he's not about that life. So all the authentic rap people who like that lifestyle, so well, let's alienate him. He's
Yeah,
not really
exactly.
about
the
that
people
life.
who used to support him was like, yeah, he not.
But then
you
the
know.
other millions that liked his individuality and his craziness still support him. He's making more money, which pisses everybody that hates him off.
Yeah.
They're like, how is he still making this money? How is he still getting all this wealth?
Huh?
Because he created something. He created something in that pretending of being something. He created something that people identified with. The craziness, the stupidity, the just wanting to be themselves and not
Yeah.
giving a fuck what anybody else says.
Exactly.
Exactly
That
what it
people
was.
identify because everyone at one point in their life was like, fuck everybody else. I don't need you.
Yeah.
All of us sitting here, and anyone is listening and watching, same thing, have hit a moment like, fuck everybody else. Like me, personally, I've gone through most of my life not really giving a shit what anybody thinks about me. And like
Yeah.
Medea says, like,
That's exactly how you
when
gotta
Medea
be.
thinks about, when anybody else thinks about you is not your business. That's
Yeah.
them.
Because it's like, bro, you're not gonna pay my rent, bro.
Exactly.
You're
Yeah.
not gonna pay my bills. You're not gonna work for me. You're not gonna put the food on
I'm
my
not gonna
table.
scratch that
Yep.
itch on my
I
back.
don't care what you say.
Exactly. My
You
reaction
know?
is, you had an opinion on my life? Hold on, wait. Let me get you one of my bills. You pay that first, show me you paid it,
Yeah.
and then I'll listen to you for 5 seconds you got.
Yeah,
After
exactly.
that, fuck off.
It's like I could possibly like acknowledge what you're saying, and question myself like, do I have an issue with that or whatever the case may be, and if I do, then of course I will work on myself as a person. But I just feel like a lot of people just always got some shit to say,
Always.
always got something
That's
to
the
say.
nature.
Like if
Because
they
everyone's
not,
quick to put, like, it could be a room full of 5 people, and 4 out of the 5 people all have the same issue, but someone in that room is going to be like, oh, that person's fucked up.
Mhm.
yeah,
You know, and then
exactly.
there's only one person that's going to be like, well, we all fucked up.
It's
but,
like one thing that I've really
what's the
been trying
difference?
to like implement in my life is just like consideration for people. Like sometimes I'll be having a bad day and I'll see somebody, I don't know, happy or some shit. And I'm like, look at these fucking people.
This fucking guy over here.
Yeah.
Fuck is he so happy for?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember,
But then
misery loves company.
then yeah, exactly. Then I had to just start asking myself, like, bro, why are you upset that people are happy around you because you having a bad day? You feel me? And I just started to just like appreciate, people's smiles. Just small things. Like everywhere I go, I'm like, I'm happy that this person is having a good day. I don't even gotta know you.
Yeah.
Just first time I'm seeing you, just walking past you on the street.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't know what people are dealing with
Facts.
every single day of their life. You don't know like that person that I'm over here upset about because they laughing and smiling. They could have just had a miserable fucking year, and this is the first time they smile in a long time.
Yep.
And
And
it's
genuine
like,
smiles and moments of like pure happiness
yeah,
rarely happen.
yeah, exactly. So it's just like, who am I to judge or like come at anybody about anything? And a lot of people they've come at me in different ways or like talk shit. And I'm like, bro, you don't know what I deal with. You don't know
Exactly.
what kind of demons I live with, bro.
The most of the time, the people that talk the most shit got the fucking biggest problems too.
Exactly.
If you got time to fucking speak on another man, another woman, if you got time to really point out their bullshit, that means you got a lot of bullshit that you haven't even pointed out to yourself.
Exactly.
And that's the problem with a lot of kids. Is like they so quick to fucking, especially the youth. They're looking at everybody else. Like, look at yourself, bro. Like, look what, like, how many, and we all probably all know people that stay in the same park, probably stayed doing the same wheelies, the same tricks, and just stayed in that park. They never left. They're still doing the same shit. They never
Mhm.
got nowhere. They never tried to elevate themselves. They never
Yeah.
did nothing, and it's crazy. And
It's like the crab in the barrel effect.
yeah,
One
Mhm.
crab tries to get out, the one underneath pull him back in.
hmm
That's what they try, and but that's no fault. That's who they're meant to be. You can hit on them if you want, or just accept
that's
that
just a
that's
journey
just
they
who
have to go
are.
through.
If
Yeah,
they
we all
choose
go on
to.
our separate journey. Yeah,
Remember, to a certain level, they're satisfied with what they're doing.
sadly, yeah.
They'll never
Yeah,
push
it's like
themselves
it's like
beyond
exactly.
what
It's
they
like
want.
people get comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
They settle.
Mm-hmm. Settle for mediocrity, and
yeah,
that's a
it's
bad
like
thing.
I'm learning every day. Like if I feel comfortable, I'm doing something wrong. Like I
Facts.
gotta feel uncomfortable. I gotta put myself in uncomfortable positions. Like this is the first time I'm on a podcast. Like it's not easy to just come in a room and speak on a camera and a
Mhm.
microphone. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like I feel like this is something that
Something that's
you
necessary.
gotta do.
You gotta do
You
it.
know, you
Exactly.
gotta put
My
yourself in
first time too, I was
uncomfortable.
in that same chair, and I was just like, okay. He said, ready. I'm like, all right, shit. I'm like, I guess I gotta talk now. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But then once you hit that groove, once you hit that button or that passionate topic, you'd be surprised when you look at it back. You're like, damn, I really came alive at this point in the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
what
it
I'm saying.
flows.
That's why I want to talk about like mental health because it's like it's something that I'm becoming very passionate about. Like I do want to like push this onto the youth because I never had nobody to tell me these things. I never
Yeah.
had nobody to point out these things.
mental
People
health
would
is-
just tell me like, "Oh, you fine, you fine, you fine,"
That's
and
a
not
passive-
knowing like
No.
what I'm really feeling, like what I'm dealing with.
Well, also
You know?
at the age when you probably were coming through, a lot of it comes back to the person as well. It's a 50-50 street because you get that one person that has that ear for it and wants to listen to your problems, but then it comes to the part where are you feeling comfortable enough to be vulnerable enough to lower your guard and expose your feelings to someone, because that can traumatize you too if you open up to the wrong person that turns around and says, oh, you got this shit, you fucked up, and just starts making fun of you or just turns on you and just
And like you
it
said,
turns
like
negatively.
use it against you in the end.
Yeah, that'll
You-
traumatize you to
you know?
never open up
To have-
ever
exactly.
again.
You know, one of the biggest things that I guess come across, especially I was doing shrooms and I fucking came up with this, right?
It's crazy. We doing shrooms right now. We on shrooms right now.
That's how it be. What you
That's
start
why
to
he's so
realize-
quiet. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, he's-
I'm listening because after y'all finish speaking, I really do have something to say. So you feel me? I'm just here a little, I'm observing, I'm
Chime in,
listening.
brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
whenever you're ready, bro.
that's my daughter's cousin, by the way. So that's like my nephew. I knew him
Okay.
since he was 7 years
So
old.
it's all family in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. I like that.
And he worked with me too. I just got him a job with me.
Or
Like for the people that don't know, I do security.
Yeah.
So I just got him a job with me doing security.
big security, home shit.
What kind of security do?
So right now I work for
Just
I
don't
work,
mention the company. I don't want them to get you in trouble for anything.
Nah, we good, man. We
Yeah.
good. I work for Live Nation.
Nice.
So we do like a lot of shows. The other day we had somebody on who does podcasts. You know, like it's basically like if you want to rent the venue to do whatever you want to do there, you could do a party there if you want. You know, if you have the funds and the time and whatever you need that space, that's what it's there for.
Look at that. See, it's a small world because I do club security.
Yeah, I mean, I
For
dabble in the
25
club
years.
security
Yeah.
too. Work in a lot of clubs.
Actually, after I leave here, I gotta go work at the club. Once I'm
shit.
done here, so I gotta. Once this is done, I gotta just shoot to Queens.
All right,
But,
bet. What club, if you don't mind saying?
I can't say on stream.
Nah,
I'll
I feel
say
that.
off stream.
I
I'll say
respect
off
that. I
stream.
respect that.
Until I get permission. 'Cause I don't
Yeah,
wanna-
I worked in a lot of clubs. I did Stage 48. I don't know if you're familiar with Stage
Yeah,
48. Did La Boom
Yeah,
in
I
Astoria.
did a quick stint there.
Yeah.
That place is unique.
Yeah, I did a
My
lot of
brother also worked
bars
there.
in Bushwick. A lot of bars in Bushwick. The last company I was with, he had a lot of contracts in Bushwick.
Yeah,
All those small like dive bars and shit like that.
yeah, I
know,
worked.
It's easy, honest work.
Yeah, it's all about mindset.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
you have to have the right mindset to do that job.
Yeah, you gotta
because-
know how to talk to people.
Exactly.
You gotta
And you got to also understand, you have to have an understanding as well that people that you're talking to in that line of work, they're not going to understand you right away because they're
Yeah.
fucking drunk.
exactly. A lot
So
of
you're
them are
not going to
drunk.
get a lot of
Fucked up.
comprehension. But you also have to have the ability to speak in a manner in which that they're going to understand your point. But you also have to approach them like a human. Like that's the one thing.
Yeah.
I had a Spanish club that I was working with for the good 15, 20 years. Of most of my career, I was with this one club because the owner loved the way I worked and he wouldn't let me go anywhere else.
Yeah.
And the way we treated everybody was like, treat them like a person. Like, let's go outside and have a conversation.
Yeah, I talk to everybody like
Yeah.
family, you know,
That's how it should
and
be.
that's why a lot of my regulars they fuck with me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times when things go down in the club or in the bar,
You got
I don't
backing
have
from the
I don't
customers.
have to do nothing.
Yeah, they'll take
They'll
care of
come
it for
like,
you.
yo, you good? I'm
Yeah.
like, I explain the situation. I'm still trying to talk to both parties and let my regulars know, like, yo, we good over here. And I'm letting him know, like, listen, my brother, like, this is not gonna end good for you if you
Yeah,
continue to
continue
fucking
shit,
act the
you
way
gotta
you're
give it up,
acting. You know,
yeah.
like I'm trying to talk to you, trying to let you know.
Mhm.
You know, I always try to reason with them. And then, like I said, my regulars are always there. They're always there to back me up just because of that relationship that I build with them.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you give them what I did the same thing. I no bullshitted them.
Yeah.
I kept it real with them from day one when I met them. They they played around and I showed them like, all right, I'll play with you, but like understand there's a line, don't cross.
Yeah,
it with me."
exactly.
But I'm
Exactly.
cool with them.
Yeah.
So there was one incident that we had where it was like a huge brawl that broke out because it was soccer time. So the two nations, like Ecuador and
Shit.
Argentina, I think it was. Those two, they were
Yeah.
warring with each other. And we had a huge brawl, like a 30-man brawl that broke out, outside and inside. And a couple of the regulars kind of helped us kind of push it to the street, and then just bodies everywhere along Queens Boulevard. It was crazy. Cops
Yeah,
came,
yeah, it
like-
gets crazy out there. I worked out there like 2 weekends in a row, and I was like, yeah, I'm good with this.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
good with
Said
this. I was
fuck
working
this.
on like the last stop on the 7 train, like by Flushing
oh,
Meadow
it's
Park.
Yep. Well, yeah. Anything under the 7 train, I refused. A couple of people offered me to work out there in one of those clubs. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it was
those clubs, and nothing bad about the clubs. For me, I was like, nah, it's a no go.
Yeah, it was a Spanish couple. They was arguing in the club, and I seen the lady kept hitting him, so I was like I'm asking the dude, like, you good, my brother? Good, like if I could just take this outside for me. And then she like pulled him in for a kiss, and she bit the fuck out of his lip,
Damn.
Jesus.
and he's just bleeding everywhere, and he tried to start choking her up, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? bro?
The best fights was with a couple. I had an incident like that too. It was a couple that were fighting, they were arguing, and the guy said something to the girl, like he cursed her out really bad, like, and shut her down.
Yeah.
And then he thought he was gonna be like an asshole. He grabbed his beer and he put it to his mouth. And the second he put it into his mouth, she just wound up and she smacked it into his mouth. she actually cracked his front 2 teeth. They both, like, the piece of it came flying out, and the other one went, he almost swallowed it, and then he spit it back out because he was going like this. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, you're right. And he comes back and he's bleeding, and I see the piece of tooth in his mouth, in his hand.
I would have went to jail.
And she broke, like, and he smiled, and I saw the break. I was like, all right, you got to go. Like, so they both left. I was like, you guys got to take this outside. They were outside arguing, and then, like, 30 minutes of them arguing, they left together. I'm like, this is why you don't get in the middle of it sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with
Yeah.
relationship.
Even we had one guy that
It'd be
actually,
some wild
his
shit.
wife was being a complete asshole to everyone. We threw her out. He left with her, and he got mad at her because he was a regular. He got embarrassed, so they went down the block, and he starts tossing her a beating. Like the first one, he smacked her. We all saw it. We were like, all right, corrective slap, kind of shit at that point. But then, like, he put her into a door frame, and then we just see him. He's teeing off on her, like, with punches.
Damn.
And she's screaming, and we're like, all right, hold on. That's when we're like, wait, we cannot allow this. So we stepped in at that point. But then she turned around when the cops showed up. Oh, he didn't do nothing to me.
Yeah,
He told the
exactly.
cops, look at her face. And they're like,
Exactly.
that's done. So, he got an ass whooping for
Like
it.
obviously we didn't do that.
No.
It's like that. I don't really get involved in like couple situations. Like you could be my family and anything and everything, But it's like I've learned, like you could defend like your sister or something, and I don't even have a sister, but this is just for example, right? Like you could defend your sister, and the next day she'll be right back with him
Mm-hmm.
doing the same thing, and that's like part of like mental health,
Yeah.
Like
How to deal with the trauma.
yeah,
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
gonna
It's
keep running
kind of
back
like
to it.
And
Yeah.
the self-esteem.
Attachment
The
issue.
yeah,
self-esteem
it's an
issue.
attachment issue.
Yeah.
It's an attachment issue. Self-esteem.
But
you know?
that stems back to just the need for love, which that means that at some point, there's a deprivation of that from someone.
Yeah.
Usually it's parents.
Whether it be your mother, your father,
Mhm.
it's like
Your best friend.
you wasn't
Like,
raised raised feeling like you worthy enough for like a healthy relationship or
Mm.
whatever the case may
And that's
be.
when you have serious separation anxiety as well from that. Like,
Exactly.
you can't be
Exactly.
by
So
yourself,
it's
you have
like,
to be
you
with
know what?
someone.
He might not treat me the way I want to be treated or I feel like I deserve to be treated, but he's all I got.
Mhm. I've
know?
met a few people like that in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's like,
There's
and
people
it's
that are
sad.
in relationships for their whole life.
Yep.
In a relationship that they don't want to be in.
Yep.
And you sit there and you look at it like, what the hell do you see in this person? Like, you guys are always fighting. Like,
Like
what
y'all
the fuck?
don't like each other. And like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Facts.
Like
And you can see
and
the
it's
tension.
and it's like sometimes it's obvious that they don't even like each other.
Yep.
Yep.
It's just like constant bickering and fighting all the time.
It's like the two most toxic people in the world are together. Everyone knows in the room, y'all should not be together. Jesus Christ, you go that way,
Yeah.
you go that way.
Yeah, it's
Put
like
a country
it's like when
between
they
the
come
two
to
of you.
that when they come to the
You know?
to the family event, they're like, oh shit, here we go. They here.
It's like the
That'd be
family
the worst,
event.
no?
It's
Yeah.
funny because the family event, the adults would be
You're
like,
a
I don't
funny
want to deal with
guy.
this drama. The younger ones would be like, yo, how much you want to bet they're going to get into a fight today? All right, you think they're going to throw a beer at each other or think it's going to be fights or just words? And that's sad, because
Yeah, it is,
we're
'cause it's
looking at
like-
the outside in. We're making, like expectations on it, but they're living it.
Yeah, they live in they live in
And
that
none
life.
of us ever stop to say, well, where's this source coming from? Like, what's the problem?
Yeah,
What
like
is it?
how can I maybe help them in some
Yeah.
way?
And that shit will probably stem
know?
all the way from their fucking
It
childhood.
does. Most
It
of the
does.
time,
A lot of the times
Exactly.
it does.
most
It
people that
does.
I've spoken to that have some sort of need to be with someone constantly or have like low self-esteem about their self-worth is because at some point down the line either a father or mother or something happened within their family where they've never had that love, so they crave it from a
Yeah.
relationship, and sometimes
Mhm.
whoever gives it to them just a little bit, just once, they're hooked.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's why I always tell everybody I've ever talked to about depression, about any kind of mental problems they were having. I was like, well, let's dive back about the source. What's the trigger?
Yeah.
Where does your trigger
where does
come
it come
from? What
Where
what
does it come
starts the
from?
process?
Well, let's talk about this. Why do you think? Why are so many people depressed? Because I would say that a lot of people claim to be depressed, especially the youth. I was talking about it earlier. A lot of kids are fucking cutting themselves now. A lot of
Yeah.
people claim to be depressed. Why do you think that is?
Can I say something to that?
Hell
Of
yeah.
course. We welcome it.
People are depressed because they do not know how to love themselves. Like y'all just said it. You feel me?
Mhm.
People feel like, all right, so love is something you feel, but it's your desire too. You feel me? So you can love something and desire it so much. You feel like you need it. You get me? You feel
Mhm.
like you see this podcast, you could love it so much, you feel like you gotta come to work tomorrow and do it again.
Hell
You
yeah.
feel me? That's your desire. You feel me? Some people have that problem with humans. And because we are
Yeah,
all humans,
it's
though.
it's an attachment. It's
Yeah,
an attachment,
but you get what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
Listen to this, because what y'all just said was people feel like people need, like, all right, y'all basically said that you put it in a like a little sister situation, right? And you don't got a sister, but it's that nigga that she'll keep running back to. You get me?
Yeah.
It's only like that because she in her heart, she probably feels like, yo, we are humans. We could change. We got people have a chance. You feel me? Cause you'll be the bad person to be like, nah, like damn, giving up.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
like a
now
problem.
later on, that person, they changed. They did what you finally wanted them to do. But it's like that's all in
Yeah,
time.
I mean, sometimes it takes that though.
That too, though.
You know,
You're
like
not
sometimes
wrong.
you gotta walk away from somebody, or you gotta get broken up with to be like, I bet, like,
To
I got a
man up
problem.
and-
Most people
I
are
got an
only,
issue.
they're gonna do what they can based on their options.
Right.
You know, it's someone's
Or
not
what
gonna
they
really
see.
change unless they're being forced to. And nobody get forced
Yep.
to do something. For example, like if you're in a relationship that you don't want to lose, what do? You can stay being the same person that's causing all these problems,
Right.
or you change for the better.
Yeah.
But it's also that could turn sour quick because if you're not doing it for the right reasons. If
Mhm.
you're not doing it to better yourself for you to enjoy and then
Yeah.
share that with the person you're with, it's gonna turn south because eventually you're gonna get mad. You're gonna get mad. Someone's
You're
gonna
gonna
get mad.
build you're
and
gonna
you'll be like,
build resentment.
exactly.
Mhm.
Be like, fuck
Everybody-
that. Why can't I just be who I am? Why do I gotta change for you? What are you
Yeah.
changing for me? Kind of shit. It's because you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You never want to do it to please anybody else but yourself. When it comes
Yeah.
to self-awareness and self kind of fixing, you have to be selfish with that.
Okay, and that's the problem with
Yeah,
people
most
now
people
because
don't do
people
that.
don't like people being selfish. You get me? But everybody got to be selfish, like you said.
To a point, you have
People-
To a
to.
point,
And
yeah.
that's
But it's also you got to be careful on how you project that selfishness because you can go too far. There's definitely a point where you can go too far with being
Yeah,
selfish in that
when
light.
you make somebody feel like, they don't matter or
Exactly.
something like that, you gotta let them know, like, I do care about you, but I care more about myself and my mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
because
know, like if
gotta do
things
what's right
could
for
be
you.
if things could be this way, then maybe we could work. But it hasn't been that way. So now I need to take a step back because I'm losing myself.
Mhm.
You know?
and then how could you be caring about a relationship if your mindset is not right?
Exactly.
Nah, yeah, because like
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
said,
Or if you don't know how to love yourself.
Yeah.
right, because that's what I said. People are
Exactly.
depressed because they do not learn how to love themselves. They'll find love in something else so quick
It's
or
kind of
somebody
like a
else.
distraction.
They
Yep.
forget who
They'll
they
look
are
for
to
that love
themselves.
from other people.
Yeah.
Feel me? And regard, like
And
he said, even if it's a little bit,
substances,
even
you
if
know, like
yeah, exactly.
You wanna know
Substances
something that
definitely.
One thing my older sister told me one time when I was going through a breakup, and I was all sad about it. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not happy no more." And this phrase, kind of changed my whole mindset on this. My biggest mistake was making someone else my happiness.
yeah.
That's my biggest mistake in a
Exactly.
relationship. I turned my whole shit around. I was like, you're right. So I said, you know what? Let me make me a better person, but not for that person, for me. So when I look in the mirror, I'm gonna look back at who was staring at me. I'm like, you know what? I like what I see.
Yeah, and if somebody
And-
else ever breaks up with you in the future, like they losing out on a beautiful
Exactly.
person.
Yeah, hell
Because
yeah.
for me, it's like
know?
I took that whole shit. I turned it around. I said, you know what? I'm my own source of my happiness. I'm what makes me happy. I'm gonna be a happy person, and then I'm gonna share that happiness with someone who wants to be in the room with me. But you're not my source of happiness. You could add to it, sure,
Yeah, of
but
course.
you're not my source. So you go or stay. That's on you. You want to stay and enjoy this with me and share happiness and be in a positive mindset and let's be happy and move forward together. I'm all for it. Bring in toxicity. We're gonna address that. Either remove the toxicity or I'm gonna remove you because
Yep.
I no longer want to
Yeah,
live in,
or
in an
remove
environment of
myself,
toxicness.
like
Yeah.
So y'all saying basically in order to not, because I want to know to y'all, what is depression?
Okay, let me. Depression is when either you don't know how to deal with the trauma that you've been through, or life is just sucks because you just can't fucking change, right?
yeah, like you can't find the happiness to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah, like I don't
You
like.
feel low.
I was
know?
having this conversation, right? Like I don't understand how people can just sit there and say, "Oh, I'm depressed. That's who I am now. My life is just governed by depression." Like, no, what are you not doing, or what are you doing that's causing you to feel like
Yeah,
shit
or,
all the time?
or what could you do to make
Like,
yourself
do you-
feel better?
Exactly. Do you look
Like,
like
there has
shit?
to be something.
Do you
Mhm.
eat shit? You know, like
you
there has
know?
to be something
exactly.
you can do.
Exactly. That's another thing that I wanted to touch on. It's like a lot of the things that we fed, and in America, it's hard to be healthy.
They don't want us
You
to
know?
be.
Yeah, they don't want us
They
to
don't
be
want us
healthy.
to
They
be.
really don't want us to be. Like a lot of the things that they feeding us is giving us diseases.
They're gonna kill
You
us
know,
and then they're gonna
it's-
sell us the cure.
yeah, it's like depriving us of being our best selves.
And that
Mhm.
shit
You
ain't
know,
even a cure.
like the things that you put into your body affect you every single day. Like how you, a lot of people think it's just like my weight, you know, my blood sugar, stuff like that. But it is your mental. You know, like if you watch what you eat, and then the next day how you feel after, you know, you've eaten a salad, fruits, you know, you drink some alkaline water, whatever the case may be, you know, some coconut water. The next day you're gonna feel amazing.
Hmm.
If
I
you,
just went through that. Actually, just I had a fitness coach, and in the first 2 weeks, I dropped 9 pounds. Actually, in the first week, I dropped 9 pounds
yeah,
just from looking back. He had me analyze what I ate every day, and I thought about it, and then I was like, Jesus, the fuck was I doing?
yeah,
A
and
snack for me wasn't a snack; it was a full
it was a
fucking
meal. It
meal
was a meal,
at 2
exactly.
in the morning, and then all right, I'm gonna sit and play more Call of Duty, and then go to bed. So
Yeah,
it's like all that
exactly.
shit just festers, and then when I look back and I thought about it, and I saw it, I was like, shit. And I felt the mindset evolve. And then I was like, I'm never going back to that.
Mm-mm.
Because I liked the
Yeah,
way I felt cutting out all the extra shit that I was eating. Because now I feel better,
you feel
physically.
motivated. Yeah,
And
you
then
feel
mentally, I was
motivated.
like, yeah, I feel like, oh shit. It was like a reward for me because I was like, all right, cool, this works. So my mind was like, positive influence, like keep doing it. Like it was like the
Yeah,
positive bell went off. And it was a great feeling, you know?
Well, I mean, let's look at the problem, right, with the food, right? They what had happened is they made food and they said, okay, how do we sell this more? They said, how can we make it more tasty? How can we make them keep coming back? They made it more addictive. They said, let's
yeah,
give them short-term satisfaction, and now you're gonna sacrifice, I guess, the long-term health benefits because you're gonna
exactly,
fucking look like shit at the end of that 10 years that you've been eating McDonald's
you're
every
gonna
day.
look like shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel like shit. So you're
You
gonna be
know,
less productive.
if
They
the
don't want you to
input,
be
yeah,
productive.
if the input is shit, the output, what do you think is gonna be? It's gonna be the same fucking
Exactly the
thing.
same
Like they
thing.
say, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly.
Exactly.
A lot of people they go to fast food. They go to these bullshit sources of food because it tastes good in the moment. Like, oh, I'm gonna go get my fucking chocolate shake for me, right? I like fucking cookies. I'm gonna go get my cookies because you know what? I'm having a bad day. It's
Surprised
gonna
you don't
make
have
me
cookies today. I just
because I'm
realized
making
that.
a
Holy
change. I
shit.
don't want to eat no fucking cookies.
There you
Last
go.
time I like these birthday cake cookies. Last time I ate them shits, I was pissing out lime green.
That's
Yeah,
gross.
That's
bro.
not good for you.
Exactly.
But to go back
Exactly.
to what you asked of what depression is, and my mindset of that, it's a trauma that someone's experienced that doesn't allow them to really look inward and fix themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That
Exactly.
instead it causes them to feel so much shame, sadness, or whatever that it kind of overtakes them. And without the assistance of someone else or really reaching out to someone for help, they're never going to be able to break free of that because it's. I always feel like it's always going to be a traumatic experience that causes depression from there because it's something that's going to trigger it. We don't all wake up one morning and say, "Yeah, today I'll be depressed." Something happened, something or has happened
Yeah.
in your
It's a
lifetime
compounded
to make
fucking
that
thing.
that thing, and then something during your day can trigger that thought process,
Mm-hmm.
and now you got to go backwards. Like all right, figure it out. Like a friend of mine, I helped him with that kind of thing. I was reacting like he's always upset about something. He's like, what happened today? And I kind of threw him like some things. I like follow the chain of thought. I'm like, where does it start from? Where's your trigger? Okay, so we followed it back in his thought, what he did that day, what he thought about that day, and what triggered it. So we found this trigger. All right, so and how do you avoid the triggers? What can you do to change to make it better for yourself so you're not
Mm-hmm.
always feeling this depressed? What's your source? And when I said what's the source, I saw the light in his head go off, and it was his mom. His mom was the source of his trigger, of the energy that was kind of holding on to him, and then the trigger was anything about someone's mom or a comment about a parent would trigger his thought process to think about his mom, all the shit she did to him, and he went through, and then made him feel that way, and it would just overbearingly be coming over him. So I
Exactly.
was like, all right, let's eliminate the source. Stop thinking about it, or try to replace the negative with the positive right away.
Yeah.
Do
Or
something.
forgive. Forgive.
Yeah.
Like with
Mm-hmm.
me, like it's kind of it's similar. You know, like so with me, like my pops wasn't in my life the way he was supposed to be. You know, so my mom had to pick up.
Mhm.
You know, I had my grandfather. He was great. You know, but he also dealt with his own trauma. You know, and he also traumatized me in other ways as well.
But that
You
hole
know,
would never be filled with you because even if having a grandfather or a father figure, know how they always there's that the definition is grandfather or father figure.
yeah,
What everyone wants is a father. So
yeah,
that's going to cause you trauma going forward your entire life,
yeah,
even once you get
exactly.
older. But you are learning ways to deal with it. So that's kind of, your
Yeah, and
growth.
for me, it's more so like just like forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know, like I look at them and I'm like, all right, like they not perfect. They didn't have nobody to teach them the things that I'm capable of learning today. You know, like they didn't have, you know, therapy or
Mhm.
counselors,
A lot of
stuff
the
like
time,
that.
they have their own demons, and so what happens
Exactly,
is
that
they
we don't
transfer it
see
to
as
you.
kids. We don't see it
Exactly.
as kids. We like, why are you so mean to me? But it's like when you get older and you live this life that we live, that is hard.
Yeah.
You start to realize, like, I bet, like, I could understand why people are the way that they are.
And
And then you
ain't-
learn your backstory about your parents and what they went through growing up. You're like,
Yeah,
that makes fucking sense.
yeah, like, oh shit, I do the same fucking thing. No wonder you were such
Don't
an
get me
asshole.
wrong,
You know?
it-
yeah,
You know, I react to that as, okay, yes, I understand now where you've come from. Still doesn't make it right.
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make it okay,
still have to
especially
have the
when you,
conversation.
especially when you bring it to the light,
Exactly.
and then they try to act like, oh no, you had an amazing childhood, you know, or
That's my dad. My dad likes to like
yeah, like
project
my,
things like
like
it's not what
my,
I remembered. I was too young to remember these things. He's like, that didn't really happen. I'm like,
yeah. I
Yeah.
heard that plenty of times in my life. And it's like I'll tell my mom certain things, you know, or I'll post something on Instagram or something, and then she'll DM me like, I don't understand how you feel like this, or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, this is what I experienced, you know, like but like I said, I try to be understanding at the same time. Like I
Yeah.
can't imagine being a mother to 4 children by yourself in New York City.
Yeah.
You
that shit's
understand?
tough. That's
So
really
it's
hard.
like I try to like give her the benefit of the doubt as much as I can. But it's like if I do bring something to the light and I'm like, this bothers me, or I feel like I do this because of this, you know, you can't just like shut me down like, oh, I don't understand how you could feel that. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And I feel like a lot of parents do that.
Yep, they shut him down right away, and that's an insult. You
Yeah,
know, I'd be greatly offended. Like, don't tell me what I experienced.
exactly.
It's like the
Don't
phrase
tell me
that
about my
that I hit
experience.
my dad was like, listen, my reality of my childhood and what you're telling me are two different things. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know what happened. I know what I saw. Don't tell me what I saw is invalid because you don't agree with it. This is what I experienced. This is how I feel about it. We could either have a conversation and grow together and fix these things and mend these wounds that are affecting me now.
Yeah,
you
even
know?
as a grown man.
Yeah, it could happen. Listen, I'm 41 years old. And there are things that I've just over the last 20 years have came to acceptance and just like, I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah,
And like my mindset now is just about it's all about positive energy.
yeah, exactly.
You're negative, go that way.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
don't come over here with that negative
Life
energy.
is life is too
Garbage
short.
in,
Life
garbage
is
out.
life is
Yeah.
too short for that.
Or if you're gonna come sit next to me or stand next to me with your negative shit, expect me to dive in and find out why and try to change your mindset.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
And try to help you find those tools or create those things to get yourself better because that's me how I like to operate. If I see someone that's upset about things, I'll be like, what's wrong?
What's your astrology sign?
I'm a Pisces.
Me too. I knew you was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Me too.
I knew you was gonna say that, bro.
You know, I was
like,
dive
yo, he
into
giving me
things.
Pisces or Cancer. It's either
Yeah,
or.
because I dive in, and as you know, I've done it with a lot of my friends. I've dived into
I feel like we
just-
always that friend that's there. Like we like kind of
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
that shoulder to
exactly.
cry on. You know, we always give.
That's
good-
what's missing nowadays. There's none of that no more. Not none of that, but it's
I
fucking
think
missing with a
it's
lot
hard
of
to
people.
find.
I think that would
Exactly, it's
help
hard
the
to
youth
find.
of today if they could find a friend that'll actually be a friend.
yeah.
That would legit.
It's just
not
like for
be
me, I
just,
feel like they all
know?
they. It's
It's
not. I don't want to say
beneficial.
they all fucked up, but
No, but you
They
gotta have,
all
you gotta
dealing with
find
No,
the.
you can say they're all fucked up because I
You
think
know?
they are.
No, they're just lost in a sense. But
Yeah.
you gotta find like-minded
it's like if you
people.
both lost, you can't really like help each other find a way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
See,
I,
It's like, I
kind
think
of disagree
people-
with that though in a way. I think two lost souls can actually maybe inspire each other to try to find find a way together at least.
Nah, yeah, I feel
But I do agree with the sentiment. Sometimes it's hard because some people who are lost, you look at those two and like, okay, wait, no, you
Yeah.
separate like the relationship. Like you
Sometimes
go that
one
way,
is
you go
just,
that
yeah,
way. Let's
into
put a
it
With
building
that
in front
toxic
of it.
relationship, you got
Yeah,
you
because
guys
some
gotta,
friendships can be toxic.
Mhm.
Not to each other, but in the result of what you both do around each other.
yeah.
It could be very negative in the light, and this is
Like you might
sometimes-
feel like that's kind of a reason, like another reason why I stopped riding bike. Because it's like, all right, so I stopped smoking weed. I just made a year in a couple months, right?
I'm on 2 months.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
that's awesome.
It's like-
Celebrate that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely do.
Oh, yeah, I'm proud of my boy.
It's just like I had to like I would go around people and they would just be smoking, and I'm like I don't feel like I'm really doing much here.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like I would go on ride outs or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just sitting with people, and all they want to do is just roll up. That's like the first thing they want to do, and it's like I understand because I've been there.
Mhm.
I was stuck. I was trapped. I was just like, even when I was on my bike and I felt my happiness, my happiest, I was like, I still don't want to be sober.
Yeah.
I'd rather be high. I feel like this enhances everything about
Exactly.
life.
You could be sad, stressed, happy. Smoking will benefit it either
Yeah,
way.
it's like
It's
I don't care how happy I am. I would much rather be high.
and happy. Yeah, you'd rather
know,
be happy
it's
and
like-
high, sad and high, stressed and high. It's so
It's
fucked
just
up.
kind of like it's just like a way to just mask whatever I was dealing with.
That was your escape.
You
Yeah.
know, and it's like I don't judge them at all because it's like I look at them now, and it's like I don't want to use the word pity or nothing, but I look at them and I'm like, I wonder what you're dealing with. You feel
Mm.
me? Like I wonder what y'all all dealing with that y'all not talking about.
They might not even understand it themselves. They might not even know.
Yeah.
When I was smoking weed, I didn't.
It's like I said, we are desensitized to this shit.
Mhm.
We feel like this is just life. This
Yeah.
is just who we are.
This is just what it is.
We just
It's
got to
like the
make the
norm.
best. We got to make the best of it. This is
There's so
normal.
much
Everybody
going
around
on,
me is
so
dealing with the
it's-
same thing. We all
Yeah.
stuck.
And then,
Mhm.
and some of those kids, they might look at it like if you ask them, "What are you going through?" They might be like, "No, I'm nothing. Everything's great with me." How's your
Everything-
self esteem? Because that's a little thing that most people overlook because they figure, "Oh, it's not a big deal." You know, they don't really see that actually can manifest into something bigger later down the time. Because it's like
Yeah.
if you have no self esteem, that means you can't evaluate your own self worth.
Yeah.
You can't tell someone what you could bring to a table.
You
or
don't
to a
value
relationship
you
or
don't
anything,
value
nothing.
yourself.
They
and
don't
your
even trust
qualities,
themselves.
Your characteristics.
And not for nothing. Also, I think some people these days now, I would say with weed, that's like the norm now.
Yeah.
Everybody smokes weed, not for everything. That's
Yeah.
like alcohol,
But a lot of people don't realize that you can abuse that shit.
of course.
I made a video. I
And
said, yo.
we just talked about that on
Yep,
the way here
yep.
actually. And they minimize like being addicted to weed. You know, it's
or they compare it to other things. You compare
they-
yourself to other people. Like
Like
with
I
me,
understand it could be used as a medicine, right? It can be medicinal. But when
To
you
certain
abuse
aspects.
it, when
Yeah.
you abuse it, it's different.
exactly. When you have to do it because just for any other fucking reason, it's a problem.
I would say
It's
this
like,
all-
yo, I got an interview today. I'm fucking nervous. Let me smoke some weed.
that's
Mhm.
that's
I'm
that's
going to school. Let me get high before I go to
That's just
school.
not good.
that's
I'm
not
going to
good.
work. Let me get high
It
before
becomes
I
a
go to work.
habit, and
See,
then it
that-
I'm
becomes a
going home to
necessity.
my family. Let me get high before I get home.
What that
Mhm.
what that says to me, everything you just listed, I would tell that person you have an anxiety problem. That's what you
Yeah,
have.
you're not happy
Go
with
talk
your,
to
you're
someone.
not you're not happy with yourself. You're not happy with your circumstances. But it's like a lot of people gotta just start fucking looking at shit like life could be a lot worse, bro.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Life could be a lot worse.
And
I
mental health is
continue
not
to
discussed
remind
enough.
myself now, like, bro, I could walk. I could see.
You
I
have
could
fucking
taste my
arms and
food.
legs.
I could hear music. Music is a beautiful thing. A lot of people take that for granted.
They do. I'm
You
about to say
understand?
most human beings will take everything you just listed for granted until
It
it's
happens to
removed
them.
from them.
Exactly, until it happens to them or somebody around them or something like that. And then they appreciate it. But they
Mhm.
like, oh, I gotta go to school, I gotta go to work, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. A lot of those things are privileges.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of those things are luxury. There's people around the world that don't even have access to that.
Yeah.
And then we take it for granted,
every day.
you know?
Most people actually won't even look at it like that. They'll be like, "Oh well, it's this, and that. That's their problem." No, think about it. You really have these luxuries in this country here,
And
and
it's so easy for them to get stripped away from you.
fast as can be.
You know how
Yeah.
easy could it be for fucking Gaza to be here?
Yeah, exactly.
How easy could that happen? How easy
Exactly.
could it
y'all
be?
Seen that? Y'all seen that new movie that came out?
Leave the world behind.
Yeah.
All right, I knew you
I
was
have
gonna bring
not
that shit
seen
up.
it yet. I've heard about it. I keep seeing trailers
Bro,
for it.
Y'all want to
Watch
get
it.
into that?
No, you should
Y'all want to get into that
definitely
real
watch
quick?
it.
Yeah, I'm with it, bro.
Because that's a fucking
I'm with it
crazy
to dive
movie.
into that one.
I want to talk about this real quick because this is interesting. Do you know who executive produced that movie?
Barack
Me.
Obama.
Barack. Did you just say
I'm
me?
just kidding,
Michelle
just kidding.
Obama.
Barack
Barack
and Michelle Obama. And that movie is about basically America getting hit by a fucking cyber attack, which China actually cyber attacked us a few days ago.
The day after the movie came out.
The day after the movie came out. So,
The
yeah,
day
They
after the movie
They
came out.
This country gets cyber attacked every day.
Yeah,
I
but
wouldn't
the
say that,
way
but
this
fucking-
movie's set up and
it's fucking crazy.
produced by the ex-president, bro. If you
Mhm.
watch it,
I gotta
it's,
check it out.
it's
It's
crazy.
So, like-
unfolding now.
Because
Yep.
that was
I
just
like
in the
Obama.
movie.
I think he was
Because it's basically
in my lifetime. I think he was one of the most influential, and I think one of the greatest presidents ever.
Yeah,
So
of
if he's
course,
good,
first
right?
black president. Come on.
What if he's trying to warn
Not
us?
because of that. Not because he was first black president. It's just the way he carried himself as
Yeah.
a person. He was not afraid to show his education, not afraid to show like he's gonna do things his way, but he did it with grace and he did it with tact. And he like the way he carried himself throughout everything, and the fact that he experienced more disrespect as a president in his first term than any other president in mind, besides the ones that were killed. You know, for ones that were assassinated, they were hated more than him, but you have other people of like other governors disrespecting him every turn. But this man stayed to his convictions to who he was as a person. And I like him not because he was the first black president. That was a great accomplishment, yes. But just the way he was as a person.
Yeah.
How he carried himself to me was very influential for me as a person. Because I was like, you know what? The shit that he's dealing with, and look how he's reacting to it. He's like, didn't he let no one take him out of his character?
Yeah.
That's strong will. That's a strong person right there as an individual. That's what I loved about him. And his speeches, I just loved hearing him talk. nothing gay about it. It was just the way he spoke.
Yeah,
Like
nah, I
the
feel
way
that.
he crafted his speeches, the way he
I
spoke.
feel that
everything.
he's seeming like a little bit like he's like laid back, nonchalant.
He was like my version, this generation's version of JFK, and what he represented back then to what he represents to us now.
Well,
Okay.
back to
let's
you,
tie
bro.
it to the movie though, because if he's a great guy, let's go with that. I mean, there's conspiracy theories for everything. But what if he's trying to warn us with this movie, right?
He is.
But that's what I'm
But
saying.
this is another thing, right? It's not necessarily a warning. It's to desensitize us. A lot of shit that came out in movies, bro, has happened. And then we just look at it like, oh, wow, seen that coming. Like
Mhm.
coronavirus,
What was
COVID-19.
what was the movie? Contamination, I think, or some
Outbreak.
shit.
A lot of them.
No, it
there's a
wasn't
lot
Outbreak,
of
it was
there's a lot
another
of movies that they
Some
hinted
movies.
at it. And what does it do to what does it do to us?
There was that movie.
Just imagine if coronavirus came out and we never ever thought of that happening. The world would have went fucking nuts.
it was like the movie The Faculty. In the movie, he states it. What's this guy's name? Fuck. Yeah, whatever. The actor. They're talking about it about other movies telling the truth about things that actually happened in this world or are going to happen, but they can't say it because the government will censor them, so they put it out in movies.
That's fucking
Like
crazy,
zombie
bro.
shits. Like it's a phrase in the movie The Faculty. You can probably Google it. Put it
Yo,
on
if
there later when you
zombies
edit
come
it
to
out
be,
and
bro,
post it.
I'm Walking Dead, bro.
I'm not gonna get to
I'ma
that
stand on
level.
business.
What's your weapon of choice?
I'm gonna make a fucking weapon. I don't give a fuck.
I want a
I'm gonna
sword.
make.
Sword, bro.
Come on,
It's just
come on.
silent.
What's that
swift.
girl's name in Walking Dead? Did you watch that?
I don't remember
Fuck,
her
what was
name,
her
but
name? Yo, she was badass.
I
I'm
watched
not
one
gonna
season
lie.
of that. and I
You
was
never know
like,
she's
I'm
coming.
good.
She
She
was
don't make no
badass, and
noise,
She
no
had
nothing.
two zombies as fucking bitches.
As
These
pets,
dogs.
Yeah,
facts.
she
Just
took their
walking
hands
around
off
with
and
them.
their jaw.
Yeah.
And
Yo,
have them
so
tested
I've come
chains.
up with a plan, right? If the power grid goes out, everybody we can say is gonna go fucking crazy. People are gonna start killing each other. They're gonna see, oh, you got fucking water? No, come here. I'm
Yeah,
gonna fuck you
bro.
up.
See, but that's what the Walking Dead show was about. Is the human behavior when all natural resources and everything is gone.
Yeah,
And how
bro.
people just turn back to what we actually are. based on
Fucking
our-
animals.
We're
Yeah, bro.
savages
Exactly.
at heart. That's where we literally like look at the Neanderthal and how we developed from that. Everyone has that base in us to act like a savage.
Well, just wait till you're
'Cause if
starving.
you
and
look
then
at human
it's
history,
gonna be
human
crazy.
history is not a nice one.
Nah.
Us as we
It's
like
not.
we like to say back that humans are great, that people are good. We're not.
Hell no.
We're
We
not.
horrible.
From our
Worst
attention
things
to
that ever
every-
happened to the fucking planet Earth.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Animals do things out of necessity. We do things because we feel like doing it.
They do things, instinctively. They're just instinctive. They do.
We
what
have the
they-
free will to choose what we do, and so therefore,
So we're savages about
Yeah,
things for no
exactly.
reason. These fucking kids go out there and they start shooting people for no reason.
Yeah,
Or they meant
Mhm.
to kill one person and kill 7 others but miss their target.
exactly.
It's like, where's the logic?
throw
in that?
fucking stones next time.
exactly.
They should put down the gun and start throwing stones.
Like what's going on, like in the Middle East and shit like that. Like,
The fact that we still resort to this type of fucking violence to just fucking start killing everybody, like
fuck.
No, no,
you
no,
would you would think
Not
that
resort to it.
intelligence.
That's what it's been. It's just now there's more cameras that are showing it.
Well,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
either way,
So
though,
we're
it's like-
seeing how fucked up other quiet
Yeah.
neighborhoods are. Like, oh, wait, I didn't know New York was this bad. Oh, really? People who live in
Yeah.
Brooklyn know how bad Brooklyn is.
yeah, people that, exactly.
Same
Like I
thing with
work
the
at a lot
Bronx,
of the
same thing with
dive bars
Queens.
and shit, and
Yeah.
I'll tell them, I'm like, I'm from East New York, and they be like, oh, that's an amazing neighborhood. I'm like,
What?
what?
Like East New York. My reaction is
Like,
like,
where the fuck
I
They
was
was gonna
love
say it like
Bushwick.
that.
They
You're
love
from the
Bushwick. They
jungle.
don't know how
Oh,
Bushwick was
have
in
you
the
seen what
80s and the
Bushwick-
90s.
Exactly. Bushwick now, I'm just like, what the? Where?
Yeah,
Like my family still
Yeah.
lives in the apartment in the housing projects on Bushwick and Flushing Avenue,
yeah, bro.
and I'm just like, wait, what? I'm like, where the? Like it's different. Like it's being gentrified. Like you see
Yeah.
the white people coming in different.
There is their pros and
ethnicities
cons
coming
to it
in.
as well. You
Yeah.
know, like when it first started happening, I was like, all these fucking people coming into where we live. You know, like it
and it's
sucks.
pushing your neighbors out.
Yeah, pushing us out and shit. But you know, they have taught me how to be more, I guess, healthier. You know, I have access to a lot of like organic shit now.
Yeah.
You know, like so those are like the pros.
It changes your. It
if you,
changes.
if you really want to be like, get folic acid out of your system. Anything that says enriched or like wholesome, like not whole, but enriched, you're gonna see it on a box. Anything you buy, if it says folic
Yeah.
acid, that shit is not good for you. It's the most artificial thing on this fucking planet in the food. And it's in 90% of all foods. You can search up in like
Isn't
breads.
that in
Funny.
toothpaste?
Yesterday I was just watching something
That's
on
fluoride.
Netflix.
That's fluoride.
Fluoride, you got
Fluoride.
that's in the water, that's in toothpaste. That
Yeah.
yo, and this is what I'm saying. Like
That's
they're
only
really
in the
trying
water.
to kill
That's
us.
only in the water in New York City.
Yeah, bro.
They're the only ones that do that. But there was a
That we know
I just
of.
watched on Netflix. I think 80% of the food that we eat is fake. Like
It's all-
syrup.
Bro,
Syrup
Yeah,
is
bro.
not real syrup. It's
Honey.
actually it's fake syrup.
Honey is not
also
honey.
fake.
Yeah, bro.
It's got to sit on the bottle. A lot of these big companies lie about it. It's actually fucking chemicals put together.
Okay, and then let's look at the
Yep.
healthy food, right? We think that okay, we're getting some shit that's healthy, but let's say like you want chicken, right? You want a good source of protein. Where are you getting chicken from? Tyson, Purdue, some other shit. Those are just 3 companies. You're getting it from the same people. Who are these people owned by? BlackRock. I don't know if you guys know who BlackRock is.
Facts.
They're owned by the same companies. Do they want humanity to live on forever?
Nah.
No. So we're just gonna be eating shit, and they're gonna
don't.
make it. We're gonna think that it's better.
They need us to be sick.
They need us
They
to
need
be
us to be sick.
sheep.
Not for nothing, I really do think that a lot of these big companies, when they want the Thanos effect. That's serious.
So a lot of Donald Trump said this, and I fuck with this. A lot of these people, a lot of politicians, just hate America. A lot of these fucking people.
They don't give a shit about America.
That's what I'm
They're
saying.
there for their pockets. You know, that's a whole nother topic. But
Yeah.
like,
The fact that
but I
money
would
is
say though,
involved.
the Thanos effect, that's something that honestly, at the rate we're going as a species, that's the only thing that probably would save us.
But do you guys agree with what Thanos did? Did you think that like
His
it-
logic behind it, I couldn't argue with it.
Well,
You're
he like
fucking-
killed the whole earth or something
He
like
said
that.
to
he wiped out a third of all life all over the universe,
To
just
save the
completely random.
resources.
Yeah, exactly, because overpopulation is a problem.
and they were gonna kill the universe.
Do you
kill
guys
the
agree
planet.
with that logic?
I
'Cause
think. I mean, don't get me wrong.
That
I'm
is
not saying,
very-
I'm not
that's
saying
fucking
do it
unethical.
tomorrow.
that's
I
fucked
mean,
up.
It could be.
I
but
don't.
you
I don't
what,
know.
though?
I'm 50-50 about it.
Nah,
You say it's unethical because you don't agree with it and you think that it'll be too harsh. I think that sometimes to do the right thing, you have to do things that are kind of harsh.
that's no, but there's
Alright,
other
so look,
ways of
so
going.
look, I
about
To a
plant.
that.
degree, to
I
a
plant,
degree.
right?
I'm not saying kill the whole world.
That's just like
You know?
saying like let's make the purge a fucking thing. Like
You know what?
we're gonna open the doors to everything. Don't even say it. Don't say it.
I'm 50-50 about it too, though.
No,
But look, listen to
exactly,
this. Listen to this
exactly.
analogy, right? Like I plant. So sometimes, like, in order for the plant to grow better, I have to trim it. I have to cut it, you know? And the plant will grow flusher and better. You know, it'll look healthier.
Yeah.
And I feel like if that is something that we do to the whole earth,
Yeah.
there's a possibility
It's like
that
with
That's a
volcanic-
plant though.
life
like,
will come back a
that's
lot.
not
Life will come
killing
back a
innocent
lot
people.
better.
Like volcanic eruptions.
It's kind of just like a fresh start.
Yeah, like volcanic eruptions.
All right, but like if
you
let's
think
say
lava destroys all these things, but then after the lava settles, everything quiets, the soil is enriched, and new growth comes
all
out.
right,
of
but
it.
that's a
Yeah.
natural way of dealing with whatever it is. When you're talking about like what Thanos did, he specifically like, you just killed a bunch of innocent people that were there. How about let's just like not say that? How about
Are
let's
there
find
really
a
innocent
solution?
people in this world, though? When it
There
comes to
are a lot
that
of
level
there are a lot of
Kids,
innocent
destroying
people.
kids are the only things that are innocent.
There are a lot of good people. How many? You know a lot of good people. I
Children.
know a lot of
I
good
know
people.
good people, but
I
I'm
got a
not looking at that
question.
aspect of it. Though.
Who determined how many people could be on this earth?
Fate, just
Like,
random,
yeah,
just
it's,
random,
it's
just
but
random.
but you see how if you go on like social media and you search up the population, it's like it stays at that number.
Nah, it just actually just went up.
Yeah, well,
It'll
Another
go
billion.
up, but it's gonna go down soon.
oh, of course.
Nah, it goes up. It
Don't get me wrong,
fluctuates. It
there's never
fluctuates.
It might go. It
somebody's
might go to
dying.
zero
Yeah.
soon. You know,
Soon,
like
I mean,
exactly
exa-
my
yeah.
point. But you see how y'all just said with the Thanos effect, you say you 50-50 about it, but how you 50-50 about it if the government is doing what Thanos is doing? You're not liking that it's the government
I was
though.
just about
But
to
if
say.
but if it was you doing it, would you be
Nah, that's
cool
a
with
good.
it?
That's a good point. That's a good
I actually
point.
know.
But that's why everybody
would
has a
still be good
problem
with
with the
it.
government
still
because they're
would
I
be
doing
have a
that.
problem with the government for different reasons. I just think, for example, I think people.
But they're
are greedy.
killing us, regardless. Food
Well,
wise,
I would say this. I'd say with the fact that we're just so easily like willing to just follow what they say and do what they say in certain aspects, we're killing ourselves and we're allowing it. Because if we're gonna just stand there, normally if something's chewing on your foot, you're either gonna kick it off or you're gonna just say, well, just eat the foot. Go ahead. But
Well, a lot of it is misinformation. Like we don't even know that these things are problems. We don't know that
Right.
folic acid is bad for us.
right,
They
you
just
want to know
say
why?
Right.
Want to know why? Because they did the best thing ever. They gave us these. And what's this?
a distraction.
Thank you.
But
the
it all-
biggest
it's-
fucking
it's about how
distraction
you
in
Yeah,
use
the
but
it,
that's
world.
because it
another
could be
thing
a
that I wanted
blessing
to
as
talk
well.
about on
They
here
did,
too.
and that's why when you look at the smartphones as they call them now, and they said you could literally have the internet in your hands.
Mhm.
And what do? They give algorithms to distract you from what you really want to search. So if you want to come in one day and say, I want to research what causes depression, how to solve it, you'll start looking for depression. Then halfway through, you'll search randomly for like a new bike. You'll be searching for that, and then the ad will come up for a bike. You're gonna segue to the bike,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna get lost and just go
And
down
it's
that
like we
rabbit
all
hole.
have
and
fucking
then,
ADHD.
Yeah, but you
so-
got to be
Exactly.
smart enough to know how to maneuver through the bullshit, like we were talking about earlier. I did
yeah, but sometimes your
to go
vice
back
gives into it.
to
Though.
go back to what he was saying about like the what the government is doing. We don't
government
even
is
know
doing the
that they're
same
doing
shit.
these things. So it's not like, and especially what you said, it's like it's not that we're killing ourselves. Yes, a lot of us are killing ourselves, but a lot of us aren't even aware of aware of the fact that we're killing
But
ourselves.
is ignorance bliss?
Yes, and that's the,
And then the
yes.
government
And
is
is that-
allowing it.
But is also is ignorance
Walter, how long we got?
your the exception?
All right.
That's why I think sometimes it's all about being
Ignorance
more
is-
aware. Yeah,
Ignorance is bliss, yes, but we shouldn't just choose to be like that. We should want to be. We should want to seek the truth, seek knowledge.
right. But like you just said, it's the choice. The choice
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
person matters.
Yeah,
the most.
That's one thing I wanted to mention on here was like I didn't start to change myself until I started looking into it. And a lot of people don't understand that right here. This right here could be used as therapy. You understand? You have something that you're dealing with.
Mhm.
Look it up. Why am I dealing with this? One of my favorite sites is Reddit. I go on there, I search a question. How can I manage this? How can I do this? And people will give you the exact experience.
And the
you know?
benefit for you, which I think started you off in that process, was you also realized, holy fuck, I'm not alone. It's
Yeah.
not
Yep.
just me.
Exactly.
That's one of the biggest things. Is that
Exactly.
everyone going through depression, anxiety, addiction, withdrawal symptoms, emotional problems, any kind of thing you can think about. Their biggest thing is that you feel alone.
You feel alone,
You're
yeah.
alienated.
You feel
But
alone.
when you realize, when the curtain is pulled back on your eyes and you see, holy shit, I'm not alone. Like you really start
Yep.
to say, okay, wait, then there's hope.
Like for a while before I started therapy, it was like I felt like I was fucking crazy. Felt like I was crazy. I felt like I was gonna get diagnosed with something. And then my therapist told me multiple times, like the things that I was dealing with, this is normal. This is normal. This is normal. Yet a lot of people do this. And I'm like, oh shit, so I'm not that fucked up.
Well,
know?
because you fit into what everyone's already doing. Now, I would disagree with my therapist. I'm like, well, wait, is it normal because I'm not fucked up, or is it normal because 10 out of the 10
Everybody
out of
else
10
is
people
fucked
have
up.
the
It's
same
been
shit,
normalized. We've been programmed to think like
Exactly.
it's
Mhm.
okay.
Like for me, I would have a problem always being depressed. I'd be like, no, like it's not normal to be depressed if someone dies. I get that part about it, but that's not what we're arguing. That's not what the discussion is about. I would tell the therapist, I'm like, wait, if I lost someone in my family, God forbid, I'm not going. Someone passes away and I'm depressed about the loss. Of course, that's normal to be upset and
You're
sad.
sad over it. You're mourning.
But I have to have a process to mourn the loss, take it and remove it from my life and move forward and
Yeah.
let it go and not hold on to it.
Yeah.
Most people don't know how to do that.
yeah, I can't just
They
like
grasp on it because a lot
can't
of the
do that.
times they're sentimental about the person, so they'll hold on to the memories of them. Also, the sadness and the energy that they felt when they found out that person passed away.
Yeah.
And whenever I talk to someone who lost someone, I said, don't do that. Don't mourn the loss. You did that already. When you buried them, that's when you mourn the loss. You bury the negative energy with them.
Yeah.
You hold on to celebrate their life.
Positive, exactly.
Remember all the funny times you had with them. Yeah,
Exactly.
it might make you cry because you're gonna be like, I don't have it anymore. Don't think like that. Think like I had this and I will always have it because
I'm
it
thankful
lives
that
with
I
me
got
forever.
to experience that with my one life. You
Exactly.
understand? Like I
You know?
could have not met that person.
Yeah.
I'm
The
happy
memories.
that I met them. I'm happy that I got to make them smile. They made me smile.
Exactly. And then you have that memory for the rest of your life. No matter what you're going through, you'll always have that there, no matter what. And the memories will always carry on with everyone no matter who it is in your life.
Yeah.
Good or bad. Those memories will live on with you and you'll remember them. But
Yeah.
the positive ones is ones you got to focus on, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Negative energy, it'll live for as long as you allow it within you. If you don't want it, get rid of it. That's the
Yeah.
best advice I can give to anybody on this planet.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to live a positive mindset. And like you guys made the choice to break away from that group of bikers who weren't doing shit. You did what I call the Gary Vee effect. I watch Gary Vee a lot because he's smart.
Yeah.
He says if you're gonna stay with a group of people who have a shit mindset of not wanting to be successful, you yourself will not be successful because
Yeah,
you won't
exactly.
dare go against the grain of the group you're with to be like, oh, they're cool with sitting down, but if I get up to do something, they're gonna make fun of me.
It's
I'll
like, bro,
just sit down.
it's like another way to look at it. Like, if you hanging out with 4 broke dudes, you're gonna be the 5th broke one.
yeah,
Facts.
some
You
of the people
understand?
who you hang
And that's
around with.
emotionally, financially, everything.
Because even if you have money, the 4 other ones are gonna drain it out of you.
Exactly.
Because you're gonna be like, oh, let me throw something. I feel
Exactly.
bad. 'cause I have and they
Even if
don't.
you're an upbeat, positive person, and you come around 4 people who are not,
They're
they're
gonna
gonna
drain
drain
that
you.
out of you. Yeah.
They're gonna drain you. You know, you
Facts.
might find yourself after that saying things that you don't usually say, feeling, sad or whatever the case may be, frustrated.
Mm-hmm. Well,
That is a fact.
That's why
Well-
you just gotta watch your company.
this is a great fucking
The
episode.
company you
This
keep.
is a great fucking.
Now
Is that- and
we
also
gotta do it again, bro.
That one movie that, if
100%.
I can
We gonna set
recommend the
it up.
movie
A
to
lot to talk
anybody,
about.
it's an old movie. It's called Renaissance Man. It's with Danny DeVito. It's a great movie.
Renaissance Man.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
It's
I've
a good
probably
movie,
seen it.
and it's one of the things that he said in there because about people about things that we go through. The phrase that he said was, "Choices we make dictate the lives that we lead."
Exactly.
That's for everything and anything, including
Exactly.
mental health. But I think mental health needs the alarms, the buzzers. It's got to go off. It's a problem. It's a
Yeah.
problem on a fucking crazy level. Suicide is crazily high.
Yeah, bro.
Every second, someone in the military is killing themselves.
Yeah, and like you
know?
said, depression.
Depression is
Everybody
crazy.
feel
And
Mhm.
the
depressed.
military guys don't go see their therapist because they're afraid to get labeled a psych case. Because if they get labeled that, they lose their guns.
Exactly.
They lose their ability to be in that brotherhood. And military
That's
mental
crazy.
health is huge because our veterans, they're dropping like
Yeah,
flies.
that's why I was a little
Mhm.
like skeptical about going to therapy because like I want to get my license to carry. So it's like I don't want to be labeled with anything or diagnosed with some shit.
As
you
long
know?
as you're not diagnosed with something that's debilitating or can cause you to flip out and kill someone else,
Yeah,
then you should
yeah,
be
you
fine.
good. Yeah, you good.
Because
You
my
good.
my philosophy on that, I'm a gun person. I
Yeah.
love guns.
Yeah.
And I just think people who have mental health problems or are diagnosed to be a danger to themselves and society have no business owning a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
All
bro.
they
Facts.
do is make it hard
It's
for
like
people who
you,
like
you,
us who
you,
are
un,
gun
you unpredictable.
exactly.
know?
And if you miss your meds, that your neighbor goes from your nice blonde headed neighbor to a demon crawling through your attic trying to kill you and eat your brain.
Yeah,
So then you're gonna
exactly.
shoot him for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So and that just makes it harder for people who are law abiding citizens who want to do guns responsibly. Now we have to contend with the stigma of all the bullshit that the other ones that are doing that are not playing by the rules,
Yeah.
But I think, mental health, like I said, going back that's a huge, huge thing that this country right now, we're failing miserably.
Yeah.
And it's not just with the military. Kids these days are also going through it.
Yeah.
And it could be for anything. It could be, a kid going through sexuality crisis, not knowing to come out as gay or straight or keep quiet. It could be also other things just finding identity, a
Yeah.
young Jewish kid who doesn't want to become something crazy because of the climate that there is now,
Yeah. A
or
lot of
growing
things
up
that- a
in
lot
this
of things
country as
that-
a black youth. It's tough.
Yeah,
Spanish,
hell yeah.
everything. Like there's all these different variables that cause these kids to have these mental issues that no one seems to give a shit about on a great scale.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about it, it's minimized, or it's like, it's just a phase. Oh, they'll grow out of it. Oh,
Exactly.
it's the video games. Oh, it's the rap music. Oh, it's the bikers. It's all the bullshit. That's their outlet. You guys are missing the cry for help. Is that they're doing these things as an outlet.
Exactly.
Someone's got to stop and say, all right, hold on, let's take a look. Where can we get better with these things?
Facts. All right. On that note, I'm gonna end it off, guys. This was great. I appreciate you guys
Sir.
coming on.
Hell yeah.
Word. We're gonna set this up again. For
Yeah,
anybody that
hopefully we
stayed,
could do a part 2.
hell yeah, we definitely gonna set it up. I'm
And
so
I will set
so
you
with
up to
that.
be on this side so people can hear the voice.
Yo, facts.
They
we
came
gonna
from
fit-
beyond,
we
you
gonna
know?
fit you. On that note, guys, I appreciate everybody that came and watched. I hope you guys enjoyed. Only thing I could ask if y'all is subscribe. I'm gonna put everybody's socials up here so you can go check it out. Elliot does rap. I want y'all to go check it out. What are you doing nowadays?
I'm just working, but
You
you
just
know, you
working?
can still follow me on Instagram, BigApple_E.
All right, I'm
Check
gonna
me
post
out.
it. And then I'm gonna post yours up there. Post his. On that note, guys,
Stop
y'all have a
first,
great
thanks,
week. Try something new. Stay disciplined. Keep your mental health in check. And I'm gonna see y'all next week. All right.
Merry Christmas too.